Alright, today we're taking a look at just multiplying polynomials. This is kind of really basic multiplying polynomials where we're just multiplying a polynomial by one term. So, let's just review the product rule to start. When multiplying the same variable, we're going to add the exponents. So what does that look like? We have x times x. In reality, we've talked about how this is x to the first power and x to the first power. So when we have x times x, we add the exponents. The x's combine into 1, and then we just say 1 plus 1, which gives us x squared. That is the product rule. Same thing is going to happen when we have numbers added to that. The numbers get multiplied together, and then these x's are also going to get multiplied together. So this is also an x to the 1. So 2 times 3 would give us 6. Notice it becomes one term. Just as the x's do, it becomes x to the 1 plus 4. So that would give us 6x to the 5th power. And that makes sense, right? We're adding 1x to the 4 x's that are already here, so we get 5 x's. If we had to think about that, this is 2 multiplied by x, and then it's getting multiplied by 3, multiplied by x, multiplied by x, multiplied by x, multiplied by x. That would be x to the 4th power, right? Because that's 4 x's. 1 more x would make 5 x's. Okay, last one here. We have negative times negative, which makes it positive. M times m would be m to the 2 plus 3, which gives us m to the 5th. And the negatives cancel out because there's 2 of them getting multiplied together. So that's just a little bit of a review of the product rule. So let's come down here. Remember, we can only add and subtract numbers with the same variable, not a big enough line, variable and exponent. For instance, x squared minus 5x squared. We can do that. This is 1 minus 5, which would give us negative 4, and then that x squared stays. But we cannot add and subtract x squared with just a 5x. So this would say x squared minus 5x. Let's just take a quick review of the names of these polynomials. This is squared, so we call it quadratic, because that stands for square, or 2 as the highest power. And then there's only one term here, so we would call it a monomial. For the next one, we have 2 terms. Square is the highest power, so again, we call it a quadratic. But because there's 2 terms, it's a binomial. All right? We can multiply numbers with the same variable, but different exponents. Right, so x squared times negative 5x squared, that would give us negative 5x to the 2 plus 2, which is negative 5x to the 4th. On this other instance, x squared times negative 5x, that would be negative 5x to the 2 plus 1, which gives us negative 5x cubed. All right, the name for this polynomial, 4th power, right, this is called our quartic. And then it's one term, so monomial again. 3rd power, this is called our cubic, and one term, monomial. So just a little bit of polynomial naming review. So let's come down and take a look at some of these examples here. It says find the product and then name the polynomial. So here we just have 7 times 9x, so we're just going to take that 7, we're going to multiply it by 9. Hopefully you remember that 7 times 9 is 63. And then it's just x. This polynomial, well, it's actually not poly, there's not multiple terms here, there's just one, right? It would be a monomial, but the degree is 1, so that's a linear monomial. All right. Example number 2 here, we have negative 2 multiplied by 5. That's negative 10. X squared stays because we're not multiplying any x's. So that would be a quadratic monomial. Next, we have two terms that negative 2 is multiplying. So we actually put the negative 2 to the first term and that negative 2 to the second term. That would give us negative 14. Or sorry, not negative 14. Negative 2 times 4 would be negative 8. And then minus negative 2 times 7 would give us negative 14x. Again, first power is the highest power, so that's linear. And we would call that a binomial because it's two terms. If I was asking you to put this into standard form, we would need to have the negative 14x come first and then the minus 8 because we need the highest degree of x to come before the constant term. All right, same thing down here. We multiply by 8 into both of these. Let's just write this in its standard form right away. 8 times 7, that's 56x. 8 times 4 is positive 32, which gives us another linear binomial. Continuing on, now we're taking 4x and we're multiplying it through into both of these. So that would be 12x minus 4 times 7 would give us 28x squared, right? Rewrite into standard form, so negative 28x squared plus 12x would be our final answer here. And then that is a quadratic binomial. Here we're just going to distribute this negative 3 in, so that's negative 3x squared plus 18. And then that would be a quadratic binomial as well. Although there's only one x, right, there's still only two terms in here, so quadratic binomial. All right, so expanding on this just a little bit, right? Now we have 3 terms on the inside, so then the 5 is going to get distributed to each of these terms. So that's 5x squared minus 30x plus 15. That would be in standard form because x squared's in the front, constant is in the back. This has 3 terms. Square is the highest power, so we're at a quadratic trinomial. Same thing here, distribute this negative 9 to all of these terms would give us negative 18x squared plus 18x minus, that's going to be 27. And then x squared again is the highest power, so quadratic, and there's still 3 terms, so trinomial. All right, last 2 examples here. Now we're multiplying in 5x, so 5x to x squared, 5x to negative 6x, 5x to 3, 5x multiplied by x squared, so 5x multiplied by x squared, and then that would be minus, that would be 5x multiplied by 6x, and then that last term is going to be 5x multiplied by 3, so this is going to be 5x cubed minus 30x squared plus 15x. 3 is the highest power, so now we're into our cubics, and this is still 3 terms, so trinomial. And then last but not least here, we're multiplying 6x squared into everything, like this, so that would be 12x squared minus 6 times 7 is 42, x squared times x is x cubed, and then that's going to be plus 6 times 10 is 60, x squared and x squared makes x to the 4th power, right? So this is 6x squared multiplied by 10x squared would give us that 60x to the 4th. And then if we needed to rewrite in a standard form, 60x to the 4th first minus 42x cubed second plus 12x squared last. 4th is the highest power, so that's our quartic. And then trinomial because 3 terms again. All right. So below, you're just kind of continuing on this trend, right? Try these multiplication problems, and then don't forget to write the name of the polynomial as well. Have a great day.